Good afternoon. Welcome everybody to CraftWorld Live. I hope you're all well. I hope you've had some lovely weather this week because not everywhere has. We have just had a massive rainstorm here. I'm hoping that's it now because it was a little bit noisy in here. So fingers crossed for some dry weather for the next hour. We've got a fantastic brand for you today. Okay, I've never seen this before, not in so much detail. We've got the lovely Lou Sims I'll be bringing in a moment to do her demonstrations, but let me tell you first of all, now picture this, we have got some beautiful picture this Christmas stamps for you. I'll show you in a minute, but because they are new, we have 10% off of picture this using that code PT10. So there's your first offer, okay, PT10 on craftstash.co.uk. Make sure you take advantage of that. We are also giving away huge prizes. Now we're talking about over £140 worth of prizes. This is across various little challenges, competitions as such, but really it's really simple to enter because all you need to do is comment. Now first of all, we need you commenting on this live, and then we also need you commenting earlier in the week. So remember this every week. Earlier in the week, we always put a post up. Make sure you comment on that because that is giving you an additional chance to win some of the brand new product. Welcome to everybody who's joining us on YouTube. We are live today. It's 1 o'clock on a Friday here. The weather's not so good, so thank you for joining us. We have the lovely Lou Sims, like I say. We'll come to her in a moment. Now, let's have a look at what we are talking about. Would you like to come down to my craft area? Here we go. So brand new stamps. I will say hello to a few people who are joining us in just a moment. I've got you here on my phone. So look at these. Picture this. They are beautiful. I'll let Lou talk to us more about the company, but I just wanted to quickly run through the images. So Lou stamped these out for us quickly. Look at that gorgeous fireplace. That is stunning. We have here as well the present bundles, so the gift boxes. How beautiful are they? Now I know Lou's going to be colouring some of these in. She's going to be doing some really clever stamping as well to show us how to mix and bring together these images. Look at this sleigh as well. Isn't that stunning? Okay, a beautiful, let me put it the right way for you. There you go. But either way, you could make it out, couldn't you? So then we have the reindeer as well, Santa's reindeer. They are beautiful. Now these stamp sets do work together, and like I say, Lou's going to be showing us how. Now this confused me. I thought, what does it mean by fork handles? I don't get it. Fork handles. There's no forks in there. Of course, it's fork handles, isn't it? There we go. So there's fork handles, that stamp set as well. Now Lou's going to be showing us lots and lots of colouring. You can see a little sneak peek here already, actually, of what we've got coming up. But she's got so much for us. So let me now say hello to a few of you who are joining us. Let me scroll all the way back down. So we've got Carol Murphy. We've got Marshall Vase. Saying that right, you know what I'm like with my names. Lynn Clifton, Trish Fairclough, Sue Lloyd. We've got Diane Hines, Monica Johnson, Lorraine Rhodes, Vivian, Vanessa, Holger Hoy, Vicky Green, Sharon Ling. There's so many of you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for commenting, because as soon as you comment, even just say hi, you are in with the chance of winning some of these new stamps, okay? Over £140 worth in total. There will be 3 winners chosen from the comments. It doesn't matter whether you are commenting on CraftWorld or whether you're commenting over on Facebook. Either way, we will pick winners from both platforms, okay? So I will be reading through your comments, and I will be putting my questions, your questions, to Lou. Yes, there are 2 Lou's. I'm Lou Collins, this is Lou Sims. You can hear her in the background, hopefully. So there are 2 Lou's, so hopefully that won't get confusing. I will put your comments to Lou while she's demonstrating, so ask away. I mean, she is an absolutely fantastic, oh, there's thunder. There's an absolutely fantastic crafter. She is so talented, so make sure you use her expertise while we've got her live. Now, what you may, I'll bring Lou in a moment, but I just want to explain to you where you find all of these deals and offers, because we talk about a lot of deals and things whilst we are online for the hour. So the easiest way to find these for you, let me just bring you to my computer to show you the website here, is in the bargain section. So you're going to be able to have a look at the bargain section on CraftStash on the home page. So if we click into here, Okay, just bear with it because obviously with the weather it's a little bit slow today. And if you scroll down, you've got this week's CraftWorld Live. So if you click into there, you can then see everything that we have on the show today. And also when you hover over, you'll be able to see examples of the beautiful stamp sets that Lou is demonstrating. We also have elements that Lou is using. So you see we've got the Acrylic pens. Look, they are on offer as well. And lots of other things too. We've got koi markers there and such. All sorts of products from Sakura. So you can find everything there that you could possibly need. So now I think Lou is just about ready to demonstrate for you. I'll let her talk to you about what she's doing and really introduce herself. So I'll just move out the way.
Hi everyone. If anyone doesn't know me, I'm Lou Sims. I demo for Picture This, but I also demo for other companies such as Polka Doodles, and you'll often see me do some of the Reindeer shows over on her chanda. Now I'm new to Picture This, and I'm absolutely over the moon. The stamps are so detailed, but really, really easy to use in the same breath. So you can do something complicated, but actually create it quite easily. So what I thought we'd do is we've got the sleigh and we've got the reindeer, and we've also got Santa separately. So what I thought for the first demo was to show you how you can combine them all together to actually create a scene, create an image. So I'm going to get started, and I'm just going to position my sleigh, and I'm going to use a stamp platform. I just find it easier when I'm doing all of these.
Lovely. I'm still here in the background. Hopefully you can still hear me just about. It'd be good if you can let me know if you can hear me, because otherwise I will get closer to the microphone. There's so many people watching. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Don't forget, if you're loving the Picture This, the new products, we've got that code PT10 that you can use over on craftstash.co.uk for 10% off.
Right, so I'm just going to start with the sleigh. Now the sleigh comes separately, but Santa himself comes in the collection called Santa's Helpers. So you've got, I don't know whether they're gnomes, they're elves, I suppose they can be whatever characters you like, but you've got Santa in there. So let's just get this sleigh done. I think this sleigh would work just as perfectly for something steampunk or wedding, actually.
It really would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That actually, it could make a really nice masculine Christmas card.
I mean, where you've got these gaps here, if you put cogs or wheels, you know, that, and filled it in along those.
Let me just pop you down.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no, that's fine, that's me. There we go, we can see what she's doing.
If you see there and you put a cog or a different type of wheel and put that, you could change the look of it. I also thought if you put bunting going across like that, you change the look of it as well.
Lovely.
Totally, again.
I can also imagine almost like a horse and carriage being pulled through a snowy wonderland for a wedding or something.
Yeah, or
really
bit like showing my age now, Dr. Zhivago.
Yeah. Well, I know what you mean. So
sort of thing. So that's the sleigh, and the sleigh, as you can see, got loads of detail on there. I love the fact that you could do it wooden. You've got the sleigh rails here that if you've got your Sakura jelly rolls out, you can use all the metallic ones or the sparkles. So there's lots of detail in there. So I'm going to put my sleigh there, and I'm just going to quickly, she says, where have I put them? Oh, here, I did have them out.
Am I right in thinking these are photopolymer stamps?
Yeah, totally photopolymer.
Beautiful, lovely.
Yeah, good quality, really nice detail to them, really thick. Etched, and I'm not delicate with my stamps. I don't know about you.
No, I ripped them off the backing paper.
Yeah. And then they keep their shape. They're good quality, and they clean. I would like to say they clean very well, but obviously I don't clean mine as often as possibly I should.
So how would you clean them?
I just leave mine as is, if I'm being honest, because the more ink you've got on there, I find sometimes the better the image, the better the impression, it conditions the stamps. Or a baby wipe or warm soapy water, and then just leave them to dry naturally flat.
Okay, lovely. So there's a tip for everybody if you...
Right, I'm just going to turn this around so I can get the... Oh, without my magnets attacking me would be good.
So we've got comments coming, loads of comments coming in. So Shelley says that's a gorgeous sleigh. Evelyn also said the same, the sleigh is great. Charlotte loves the reindeer.
Oh, the reindeer are just fun, are beautiful. There's two reindeers and there's two different types of reindeer. I'm just going to So you've got one going that way, you've got one going, you know, both of them look like this one looks like it's going up in the air. But you don't have, I'm going to use both together, but you could use him multiple times. You could use them individually.
Yes.
You know, if you cut the horns off, or cut the horns down, you've got a deer, not a reindeer, which means you can then use it at other times of year.
Lovely, perfect.
She says.
So I suppose you would have one flying through the air, so you could do something like you've done. There's an example up to your left there.
Actually, I'm going to use this one first.
In fact, we can see that example there, just in the corner.
I'll show you. Yeah.
It's beautiful with them flying through the air. Really pretty.
Right, so I'm going to position my reindeer now. It depends on whether you want your sleigh going straight, so reindeer could be up straight, whether you're going to give the vision that it's travelling in the air. So, you know, it's totally your choice where you want it to actually go. So I'm just going to put there. Now I've cut masks out because I want to actually mask this off. And although the image looks fiddly, I've got to say it wasn't cut out.
No, that is sometimes a consideration for people, isn't it? How long will it take them to cut them out? If it's not a stamp set that comes with like outline dies, like many do now, but I enjoy sitting and cutting.
But I also will cheat a little bit when I cut out. So I know when I'm masking, I don't need the antlers masked, so I won't sit there and cut all that detail out. I'll just cut out the other parts that I need.
Very clever.
Right, so I'm just going to put that there. Now I'm going to have to probably change this around again. I do apologise, it's easier to work out where I'm going to go next.
Fine. I love watching a crafter actually at work and working things out.
So I'm just going to put the other reindeer here. So even though my platform isn't big enough, I can still put it down and I can just twiddle the page around. So I know it looks like I'm working back to front, but if you do everything that faces you first and then turn it round, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So,
and most stamp platforms will allow you to do that. I mean, I'm working on a big A4 piece of card just so I can really show you an image. This will fit on an A5 perfectly. I just wanted to demonstrate it, so you could actually clearly see what I was doing rather than try and squash everything on top of each other.
I need to say hello to Karen Kilner. Hello. Lorraine is trying her best to watch, but she keeps getting interrupted by a 6-year-old. But they can watch too.
Yes, definitely. Children crafting.
Yeah. Linda Daffy has said she always needs everything, but these stamps look amazing. They really, really do.
They are. I mean, but there is so much detail. If you're a colourer, you could go to town. If you're not, you can still do them flat designs, if that makes sense. But you still haven't lost all the details there for you, whether you enjoy colouring or whether you don't, something. So I'm just going to take out of my platform now. And let's just move my platform out of the way.
Can I just ask you, I don't want to put you on the spot here.
Go for it.
We've had a question from Joe Tolbert from over on CraftWorld. She's asked if someone could explain what is the difference between photopolymer and acrylic stamps?
The easiest way to say that is if you have got a set of stamps, if you feel the stamps, you can tell the quality straight away.
So photopolymer is the better quality.
Photopolymer is a thicker stamp, and the way it's made, it's thicker. Whereas the silicone are sometimes poured in moulds. They're not very deep detail. So they're not always the better ones, if that makes sense. You can definitely tell if you've got one. Also, the silicone ones have a tendency to stretch because they're not as rigid isn't the right word, but they have a little bit too much flex in them, if that makes sense.
So hopefully, Joe, that's answered that for you. I've also found before, so obviously I store a lot in my car. This was one of the first things I said to you, Lou. I've got my car full up with craft products all the time. And I did find that I had some stamps that were not photopolymer in my car and in the heat recently, and they actually melted. They actually sort of all flattened out and went to a big globby blobs. I don't know what the word is.
No, I know what you mean.
So photopolymer just wouldn't have that effect.
No. Right, I just brought the platform back because I forgot. I didn't put Santa on, did I?
Oh no. Can we just lift your platform up very slightly just so we can see it?
That it?
Perfect, thank you so much.
If I move those out of the way, then I've got a bit more room. Right, now, Santa, if you've got a seat, I'm going to show you 2 ways to do Santa. On the seat here, you've got that little line there, and obviously you've got the footwell. So you can actually, Santa has got, his bottom can then sit on that line and his feet tuck into the footwell perfectly.
Okay.
So that's one way of doing it. However, he was designed by Andy to actually sit within the seat. But I'm going to be honest and say sometimes for speed, I don't always mask. But I'm going to show you another way that you can actually have him safely tucked in if you're worried about his health and safety whilst travelling at speeds of light.
I don't think they have seat belts on those, do they?
No, sort of thing.
I have to apologise for the weather if anyone's hearing the thunder and it's disturbing the sound at all. Unfortunately, I can't predict the weather, but it was bang on 1 o'clock that it started thundering.
I know.
It was sunny when Lou arrived at the studio half an hour ago, but that's just one of those things we can't control, unfortunately.
No. So I've got Santa sitting there and you can still see the sleigh behind. So that doesn't look, I mean, he's perfect. And I've deliberately done this to show you a way round it, because we as crafters, we make mistakes as well. So if I put Santa on like this, you can still see all the detail behind and you can still see all the carriage behind.
I'm just going to zoom into that for everyone, if you just bear with me.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
that's no
going to
problem.
zoom in a little bit so hopefully people can see where you're pointing. There we go, that's as far as I can zoom in for you.
So where I've put Santa and I've stamped the sleigh first, you can see the sleigh through Santa, and even for all the best colouring in the world, you're still going to see it.
Yes.
Yeah. But we'll leave him there for the moment. So what I would suggest you do...
You okay for me to leave this close like that?
Yeah, no, that's no problem at all. Is if you take your carrier sheet, and your carrier sheets can be on your stamps, can be your best friends. Don't forget you have them there. And if you're using a platform like I am, just put it in place with the magnet.
Okay.
Put Santa down where you want him to go.
Right. I've never seen this
Have
done
you?
like this before.
Then put Santa on the top. We can then move the carrier sheet. If I then stamp Santa...
I can see where this is going. It's so clever.
But most stamp companies give you the images, so do use the images on the carrier sheets. So that's my Santa there, and then what I've done is I have cut, she says, where's Santa gone? Oh, there he is, look, he's waving.
So are these sticky notes?
Yeah, they're just sticky notes.
Just checking.
There's lots of different stuff out there, isn't there, that you can actually do. So now I've got Santa there, I can put the sleigh back over because I know I positioned it with my carrier.
Perfect.
So I did want to make the mistakes. I think it's important to see mistakes made.
Definitely.
And how we, rescue it. Because I will keep that piece of card and actually write notes beside it to remind myself next time round.
Well, that's clever.
So
do you keep all these notes together in a journal or anything like that?
Yeah. But then once you get used to using your stamps, you don't keep them, do you? But for the first couple of times that you want to use them, it's worth doing.
Absolutely.
So now, if I put the sleigh down, and take my mask away, Santa is perfectly placed. Does that make sense?
That is so clever.
And that's I just wanted to deliberately show, the difference between the actual two. So if I flip this over.
So obviously you're working on a large piece of paper, but if you're working on a smaller card where you really need that sleigh to be in a perfect place.
So as you can see, so I did the sleigh first so I could position my reindeer. But use your carrier sheet. So I could have put my carrier sheet for the sleigh, but also my carrier sheet for the reindeer. And then I could have created the scene that I wanted and layered all my stamps up as I needed them. So
with the reindeer, would you cut that carrier sheet up, cut around the reindeer so you've got them separate? Yeah.
Sorry, my magnets are having a little bit of a fight with each other. They just decide to play. So now, I'm using the Santa that I did wrong. But all I'm going to do now is I just look at where the centre, I'm just going to put a big circle.
Everyone's as blown away by me as the carrier sheet tip there. Lots of people saying how many great hints and tips and inspiration. So Sue
thank
Lloyd
you.
And let me see, Pippa Smith said that's beautiful. Mandy Hobden, what a great idea. Michaela Hearn, great tip. Lynn Kirk, great. It just goes on. It just goes on.
Lovely.
So many people.
Now on the reindeer, I'm drawn a huge circle round just to show you, because to me that's their harness point.
It's going to come back. Actually, I'm not going to come back out. I'm actually going to just move the camera there for you.
Okay.
Hopefully for everyone that's...
So that is, to me, is where the harness is and where the reins would go. Okay. And on this part there. And then Santa's got his thumb here. And all I would do is I'd just get a piece of card because it's easier to show you. I would actually just doodle it personally. I can then sit there and draw one rein down to there.
Lovely.
And then with his hand, I can draw another rein. Obviously, I'm going to bypass that reindeer. And then I can join the two reins up. You could do lots of fancy ways. You could make that thicker, smaller. It doesn't matter. But it was just, that's where I found was the best positioning in my head. Yes. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, absolutely, definitely. Do you want me to come back out now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can take this further. If I move that out of the way. Sorry, my magnets seem to go for a walk if I don't look after them. So that's my positioning. And then all I've done is you can make this as big or as small as you like. So I've done exactly the same as I've done there. And then all I've done is I've created that scene. And I've just used a circle die cut just to mask off. Right. And I've coloured up my reindeer, and the whole lot was done with the Ecoline pens because you can blend dry, you can blend wet.
We saw them at a reduced price in that section that I was looking at the beginning. I will show you that again for those of you who haven't been on CraftStash and don't know how to find it. And
this stamp is actually on your website, and it's one of the houses designs. And picture this: do the most beautiful houses that, you know, when you combine them together you can create a scene. So all I've done is I've multi-stamped that so it looks like the top of the roof line.
So have you done masking there as well?
No, I've just carried on stamping, just taken the stamp and just stamped along. But because it's all grey, you don't see where I've joined in or if I haven't joined properly, which is a bonus.
Lovely.
And then and so I've made that a huge A4 because in my head what I thought would be really nice is to punch some little holes, put some acetate behind and some lights.
Oh, beautiful.
So it became a whole sheet. So this is a bigger piece, but you can do Santa on a lot smaller. You know, you can cut him right down. That to there is A5.
That is gorgeous.
So you wouldn't need to do all the detail if you didn't want to.
Imagine that as your Christmas cards this year, or even framed on your mantelpiece at Christmas or something like that.
Right. So what I have done as well, just to show you another way, is I've stamped him out. If you didn't want to do the masking, okay, and you're quite happy to do a little bit cutting, I don't mind doing a little bit of cutting with TV on. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I love it.
Of course, yeah.
So what I've done is I've stamped out the sleigh and I've cut away certain elements. Now you don't have to, you can leave them there. And this is just a way of showing you how to do it so Santa is nice and cosily seated, you know, nice health and safety.
And secretly strapped in, honestly.
Yeah, secretly strapped in. So if I've done Santa and I cut him out. Now, in the previous demo, I put Santa so he was sitting on that slant there because his bottom sits perfectly, as you can see.
Yes. And
he sits there. But he's also designed to sit actually that way round as well. So he's sitting upright, not always on the slant. Okay. So I'm just going to stick his bottom down just to show you. So if I put him there like that and position him in, so his feet are showing and they look like they're sticking out of the footwell. But what I've done is I've cut the same part, but I've only stamped these bits now. So I haven't stamped all the back carriage. So I want to create flat decoupage.
Okay. Because
some of the detail is intricate, and I'm going to be honest and say I'd lose the will if I was trying to stick foam pads to all of this. I'm being honest, but
well,
you know, you go.
We like honesty.
So all I've done is I just cut that layer. I'm now going to stick it on top. Santa's feet are in the footwell, so he's nice and safe. And he's also within his seat, so he's nice and safe. So that's another way of doing Santa. So the first way was putting him on so he was resting there. But the second way, if you wanted to, you could do it this way. So now we've created the illusion of depth that the carriage is travelling behind.
Lovely.
And Santa is on the front. Does that make
really clever,
make sense? And do the same with your reindeer. So I've just done the reindeer and coloured him like that.
So what have you coloured him in with there?
All of these are coloured in with eco lines.
Are they? Lovely. Are we going to see some colouring today?
Fingers crossed. It'll either be the eco lines or it'll be the kois,
Oh, she's not yet made her mind up.
No, I haven't made my mind up. Well, to colour this image, I know it's lovely watching people colour, but this would take me a little bit longer to do. So if I've got the reindeer here, all I've done is I've stamped him, and then I've just put his head and cut his head and his leg out separately. Right. So I've made him look a little bit more 3D. So if you're not confident with your shading, let's stick him down. This is a way of giving the illusion of having shading, but you've just coloured the same. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
So you haven't put any shading on, because I know sometimes light source and knowing where to colour and where not to colour can be very daunting for people.
It really can.
So doing it that way, because I've got a layer on top, it naturally creates its own shadow.
Brilliant. Do you know what? There's so many tips coming through. So we've actually had a comment from Waggy on CraftWorld. She said, brilliant ideas. Would never have thought to stamp something and then mask it and stamp other things connected. And she puts in capitals, thank you so much. So we have crafters at all abilities.
We do, but it makes it sound like, you know, I'm giving you some wonderful tips, but we've all learnt the hard way without being horrible, and we've all found ways round it. We're just as tight, for want of a better way, as everybody else, and want to, you know, save projects we've started. So I've just done that with the reindeer. So that's another way of actually, you know, doing your pieces. You don't have to cut all of these out if you don't want to, but if you don't feel confident with your, like I said, your shading, by putting another layer on the top, I naturally create a shadow layer. I don't have to relay. That. Yeah, does that make sense?
Fantastic.
Okay, so I'll put that to.
So Shelley said, unfortunately, she had a phone call, so she's missed a bit. But for anyone who has missed any, or if you can't watch to the end, or you're just joining us, we do replay this live on YouTube. You may be watching on YouTube now, later on. The entire hour will be on YouTube, so make sure you subscribe to the CraftStash YouTube channel, and every Friday afternoon these lives will go up there as well.
Right, so for the next demo, so I just really wanted to show Santa, if that makes sense.
Yes,
because I think it can be daunting when you get lots of separate images and you don't know where to take them to start with, if that makes sense. So I thought what we'd have to do is, I have stamped a lot of it out, but I will do some colouring as well, because I wanted to do the opposite this time. I know postage costs are, you know, quite high, and I've sent loads of stuff this year. I'm trying to work out whether I'm going to work on a smaller or a bigger. I'll work on bigger because it's probably easier for you guys to see.
Yeah, I can zoom in if you're happy to.
No, it's
entirely up to you.
Let's actually put my card. I don't know why, but I always seem to go tenfold. It's just a habit.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I do. I don't know why.
I like it.
Feels
more balanced.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter, does it really, which way your card goes around? So what I thought we'd do is we'd have a play with the presents, and I thought we'd also have a play with Santa's helpers.
Perfect. So who are Santa's helpers?
Well, Santa's helpers, if I find the card, it's probably easier to show you. This is one stamp set that's called Santa's helpers.
They are cute.
So you get these 5 guys. So now these could be all year round, because even though you've got bells on, you could easily stick a flower on the top, or you could stick something else on top, because they don't overly scream Christmas.
No, definitely. So
when you colour them up, so if I put this one here, which I have coloured up, because I've coloured him red, you automatically think he's going to be Christmas.
Of course.
But if you had coloured the hat blue and coloured different, could be garden gnomes.
Absolutely. Oh, they'd be really fun as garden gnomes.
Yeah, I mean, I love that one with his long bit here. But he would look good steampunk, because you've got the glasses and you've got the feather on the top, so he can change totally again. Don't do the beards grey, which we automatically think of for Christmas. If you did it like bright orange, he changes again.
Do you know what? I'm seeing wizards as well.
Yeah, I mean, this one here obviously got to be St Patrick for me.
Yeah,
being the Irish heritage. So that you got there. I mean, you've got the flowers there. You've got the shamrock. Well, the clover there. But you could change all that again, so they don't necessarily think they're Christmas. Now you do get Santa in this set as well.
Okay.
But you do get these guys. Now you do get one other little chap within the reindeer, and this is this little man here.
Okay.
And he sits with his back to you. Now Andy designed him because some people actually said what they wanted to do was create their own gnome. So if I get a micron pen, I would get let's get a black one. I was going to get a coloured one, so I'll just get a black one. I have a few to choose from.
You have just a few, don't you?
I do love my micro pens, actually, I'm being honest.
Fine liners like these are all in that section. I'll show you again in a few moments on the website.
Now, there's different ways you could do this. So this one here was people wanted to create their own faces and their own beards. So if I went across here, I've now put a hat on the person.
Okay, clever.
And if you put your nose in all of a sudden, and then you've got your eyes, I mean, obviously you'd spend a little bit more time, and you could put that.
You don't really need to be artistic,
no,
do you?
And then suddenly you've changed it so you could make it the gnome how you wanted to. I love him with his back towards us because I think he looks perfect in the fire. If I show you what I mean, let's grab. If I grab some samples that are coloured in, that will also show you the gnomes as well.
Will be good, yeah.
So that's that same gnome, but I've actually got him facing the fireplace.
Oh,
so it's like he's like rubbing his hands,
yeah.
And then I've layered the others up. And all I've done with the fireplace here is I've created my own mock wooden panelling by just drawing some lines and some skirting. You can take it as far as you want, something, and I've just added glitter here and there. But I love him actually facing away. It's a bit like he's got the hump.
He's a little bit
you know, you need to go,
child who didn't get what they
I've got the
wanted for
hump
Christmas
today.
or something.
But that just shows you how all the different stamps, and that's one of the presents with Santa's helpers and the fireplace. And you can build up your scenes, and that's what pictures this is. Use them separately or combine absolutely everything together to create your own picture.
I love this. I love the whole concept of building, bringing everything together.
And this is like the gnomes that I've just layered up. And the background here isn't actual holly or ivy. There's a really, really cool set of foliage stamps called Thrubbery. And I know they're on the website. And I've actually used them, and just by changing the colour and giving them a green shading and putting some glitter dots around, suddenly you've got holly, or your eye is tricked to believe that it's holly.
Yes.
And I love these stamps are absolutely superb because you can make underwater scenes. But I just wanted to do, so there's all the little chaps there.
Do you know what? So many people are saying they absolutely love these. Franca has said they're in my basket. Lord knows what they're getting up to in there. But don't forget, if you are putting any of these into your basket, at checkout you can put in that code PT10. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen and you will get your 10% off. If you are a CraftWorld Premium member, you're going to get your additional 10% off anyway. So that makes it 20% for you guys. So definitely stock up on these because I don't think they're going to hang around for very long.
No, they're lovely. But like I said, take the red away and colour them in a different way. As you were saying, you could have this as spring, the garden gnomes, that flower pot, just sitting on top of an upside down flower pot.
Ah, yes.
You know, and change it again and think of all the different sentiments you've got, sort of thing.
Yes.
So we're going to have a play with the gnomes, and we're going to also have a play with the presents.
I think everyone's very happy with playing with the gnomes. There's so much love for those gnomes coming in right now. Trish Bearclough has said,
where's the
Lou is
presents?
so clever and some lovely
thank you.
ideas. Simone has said, that's a wonderful Christmas card with the gnomes. Natalie Lewis has said she loves the colouring in those. I'm sure we'll get some more tips from Lou about colouring soon. Rachel Dye has said, these stamps are just making me smile and feel so happy.
They do. You think that they depending on how you colour them, you can go ultra modern. But if you like the vintage retro vibe, colour them like that or stamp onto cream and you've changed the whole look again. I think they can fit so many different styles or that people like to do.
Definitely, I think so. I actually really like the style of that one you've got just above you there that we were looking at.
This one?
That one. I just love the style of it. I think the colour is clean and fresh, but still Christmassy.
But that's single layered.
Yes.
And this is what I wanted to do with some of the demos that I've got is I know that postage does cost a lot, and especially at Christmas because you want to send as many cards as you can, and the way situations are at the moment, we're not always going to see the people we want to see. So I wanted to create layered cards, but they don't fall into the large letter category.
No, that postage low for us.
Yeah. So that is the whole big bundle of presents. And
Wow,
that is huge, isn't it?
Could you snip into that at all to make it smaller if you need to?
Oh, this is what we're going to do.
Okay, sorry,
yeah.
I ruined it for you.
No, don't worry. Right, I'm just going to, I keep odd scraps of card, so just in case the ink is wet.
So everyone commenting, you are going to be in with a chance of winning some of these new stamps. Okay, keep tuned till the very end so you can hear whether or not your name is read out. We are taking comments from both Facebook and from CraftWorld. So all of these live comments are put in the hat, probably a gnome's hat, to win, and there will be 3 winners. We also have winners announced at the end of the hour for lots of other competitions that we've been running throughout the week on CraftWorld. So please stay tuned for that. We've got a deal of the day as well going across the screen. That's the Marabou acrylic paints. They would be fantastic for painting these images with as well. And I have to keep saying it because I don't want you to miss out. 10% off of new Picture This stamps. Okay, PT10. Don't forget that.
Now I've masked off the actual presents. So when you look at the stamp design, if you were thinking about masking that, probably in your head you're going, ooh.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, like, ooh, sort of thing. It's like, but actually, if I put the mask on top, well, I haven't cut out the swirly bits because that's fine. Yeah. It's actually a really simple shape to cut out. Isn't it? It's only when someone does it. I mean, I always stamp mine onto card and cut them all out, and I'll also create masks, and that's how I can then create my scenes because I can overlayer things. Yeah. So now I want to take one of the wee little chappies. I don't know, gnomes, elves.
So we need to give them little names.
I know, we do, don't we? And if I take that away, he's now poking from behind the presents.
Oh, it's so clever. I absolutely love this. What is the name of this technique with the masking? Is there one name for it?
I think it's just masking, isn't it?
Masking. A lot of people seem to have not seen this technique before.
Oh, really?
So they're all saying, you know, how clever it is. So Trish Fairclough with the scrap paper is so simple. Why didn't I think of it? I spoil so much with the ink.
Oh, with the ink. Oh, I've only learnt the hard way as well, if I'm being 100% honest. It's especially if your ink pads are juicy.
Yes. I love a juicy ink pad, but it has its downsides.
Now, I'm working on my stamp platform, and this is another tip I prefer to do. If you feel, I mean, you can, if I take the lid off for starters, I'll just put that over there, and you want to colour, but you want to keep everything in place, you've got 4 magnets here. I can turn this round, whichever way I want. My work isn't moving. So I do use mine as a workstation as well.
Okay.
So I'm going to grab a few colours. I'm using the Koi's because why not? And I'm just going to start. I've coloured a lot of the bits up, but I'm going to do the little gnome here. And I'm just going to colour him in. Now I'm going to be 100% honest with everybody and say I am an incredibly selfish colourer. I colour, yeah, I colour how I like.
Fair enough.
I start off with all the good intentions in the world. You could tell me.
Can I zoom into your colouring?
Yes, sorry.
Just so we can see. I'm just going to bring that in for everybody, just so we can see exactly what you're doing there. There we go. Hopefully that's not too blurry for everybody, and you can see what Lou's doing. I know that the light source could be here, so this side is lighter, this side is, and I get carried away with the colouring, so I now just colour for me. That's a really good idea, actually, and do you know what, if it looks great...
And if you're happy with it, you'll be happy to give it, if that makes sense, to someone else.
Absolutely, and I think it's very hard to learn these specific techniques and things, and it can almost take the enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, I'm in awe of the people who can do it. I mean, there are some beautiful colourers out there, you know, and all the shading, and when they put all the pleats in dresses where there aren't any and things like that, I just
beautiful.
Do it that way. Now I'm using the Koi's. One of the reasons I love my Koi pens, it's a bit like the same with the Echolines. These are water based, but you don't actually need water to blend them.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons I like them as well.
Can I just ask you this question before I lose it in the stream of comments?
Yeah.
Marie has asked, is that green matte just foam under there?
Yeah, I put the foam under here. The platform doesn't need it. It's because I use the platform as a workstation as well as it's just something soft to colour on.
Does that come with the platform?
No. This is just normal foam that you can buy.
There we go. There. I think someone else asked about that earlier. I couldn't find the comment again. So whoever else asked about that earlier, it's just a sheet of like your, I suppose, funky foam.
Yeah.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
It is. I just do it because I use my platform to work on. It just find it a lot easier. So I'm just going to add a little bit of colour to his nose. His nose is, these noses like cry out for glossy accents.
Oh yes, definitely. I'm a big glossy nose.
So now I'm getting all my pens out. I'll gradually take over. So I've got him peeking out there. Let's do a little bit of the presents. Now, if you didn't want to colour, I'm going to use my pens, and you've got a quickie glue pen. We'll do a bit of both, so I can show. Because I won't colour the whole lot in, because I could be here for ages, and then I wouldn't be talking to you because I'd be just lost in colouring mode.
Absolutely, we all get in that zone, don't we?
So I'm just going to work out. So that one there.
Mandy Hobden, she also has foam mat on hers, but she said she is also a selfish colourer.
Oh, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Phew. It is. It's I think you get lost in the colouring. In your head you think, oh yeah, that that's nearer the bottom there, so that should have a little bit of a shadow and stuff like that. Yeah. But I put things where in my eye I like them to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's if you're really pleased with the end result, you're then more confident in handing it over to someone else as a present.
Absolutely. A comment for you. June Price has only just joined us. June, you can catch up with the rest of the show on YouTube this afternoon as well. But she's just asked, are these acrylic pens you're using,
no,
please? I know
they're watercolour.
So there we go. They're water-based.
Look, smudge. Doesn't matter. We can rescue that. Now, if I was at home and this happened, I'm being quite honest, I would just cut my card blank size down.
Of course, yeah. There we go.
Doesn't matter.
There's always a fix.
Yep, always a fix. It's because this was still wet on the top. Right, let's go for a green. Sorry, I've got so many different colours here.
She's got a lot of pens. She's coming with a bag full of pens.
And as you can see, you don't have to be, the images, you don't have to actually be very precise if you don't want to. I mean, there is so much detail in here. I mean, you've got like a football, you've got like a hockey stick, you've got bows, you could go to absolute town on them. Right, I have got some other bits done, but we'll just do.
Michelle Capstick, you did say hello early. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to say hello to you back. But hello now. She said she's not very confident colouring. Could you give some tips, Lou, while you're colouring on for people who haven't maybe tried it yet or not very confident?
That's tricky. That you could go on for that forever. Find the thing that you feel the most confident with. I love watercolour.
Yes.
And the main reason I love watercolour is I can colour quickly. And also the other thing I love about watercolour is because it's got a watery effect. It doesn't matter if it's neat. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But find the medium you enjoy. But the other thing I'm going to say is do yourself a swatch so you know which colours go together. Colour wheels are brilliant because you can see opposite colours and you can see partner colours. But if you don't do, so what I mean by a swatch, let's move this over. I might as well use the back of this. Waste not, want not.
Absolutely.
So if I was going to do a swatch, I would sit there and I would do my colour and I would then write down what that colour is. So this colour is light purple.
And these koi markers are on the website, as we saw in that bargain section.
And I think actually you've also got the koi markers on there. I'm trying to find mine. That's got the blender pen in it.
Lovely.
Right, now you see I don't use the blender pen that often. Sorry about the noise. That's me trying to find a blender pen.
Clear one.
So this is your blender pen. And the blender pen, this is why one of the reasons I love the Echolines and the Kois. They come with blender pens, and blender pens allow you to become a watercolourist without having the water. So if you're not sure about how much water to add to a colour, and you can either add too much or too little, the blender pen takes that away from you. Now this might be dry, so I might not be able to blend it out. Yeah, no, it's good for doing a little bit. And so what the blender pen does is allows you to pull the colour out and blend it.
Okay.
And you get the results as if they're watercolour.
And you can see all the different shades you can get with that one pen as well.
So.
Hello, Claire Lou Parker. Sorry, I'm just talking.
No, you're fine. So you can actually then do that. But I do swatches of all the different colour pens and pencils. So then I can actually, match things up together and see how they work. But that's one of the reasons I love the watercolour. I mean, the blender pens are absolutely brilliant. Like I said, the Echolines do them as well. I know there's other sets that do the blender pens. But then all you need to do is just clean it off. The nib looks all dirty and horrible, but it's clean to go for another colour.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sort of thing.
Don't worry about the ink on the nib. Karen Price has said, imagine waking up Christmas morning to a stack of presents
Look at all
like
this
that.
mess.
This big, full of CraftStash products.
Oh.
Wouldn't it be amazing?
Right, so I would carry on there. So one of the other things we could do, let's just get another scrap piece of card. Look, I'm smudging this all over. This is because it's a new ink pad. I should have dried it with a heat gun, but it doesn't matter.
Oh well. I do have a heat gun if you want me to.
I have got one over there. It's too late now. It doesn't matter. You can cut these out. Put them on acetate. I'm just making it. But another thing we could do is, let's have a look at the different colours. Oh, let's go for... I love choices. Let's go for a silver because I don't know.
I love that silver. I've actually got nail varnishes in that.
What, Mirabelle?
Glitter. Yeah, it's beautiful.
And I'm just going to grab a quickie glue pen.
Martha has said this is a tip from a viewer.
Oh, brilliant!
When she stamps stamps an image for colouring, she likes to stamp it the second time using her stamping platform and then use clear embossing powder, and it creates a raised edge that's easier for colouring and staying in the line.
Definitely. And if you do it with your embossing powders, if you do it with a light colour, you can then get away with the no lines colouring.
Yvonne has asked, what card would you recommend for watercolouring?
Go for a watercolouring card if you can. There's lots out there.
Yes.
This is a Bockingford because I know it blends if I wanted to add water to it, but I also know I can use my alcohol ink markers. Card again is another thing, isn't it? It's personal preference. You get used to using what you get used to using, sort of thing. Some of the pre-made card blanks might not blend as well because of the different type of cards you've got. So it's not you. You need to think about it's not you. It's the card you're using, sort of thing. So instead of colouring it all, I've added some glitter down the side there. So I've moved that a bit of the way. So I've picked up and I've gone around with the quickie glue pen, and where that little swirls were, I've added some glitter along that way. So the images allow you to play and create as much as you like. So what I have done, jumping ahead, is I have cut the bottom bit off there. So I would carry on colouring everything up. So I've got this little bit here. If we
had a few hours, we could allow you to do that.
I know. So I just looked at the time there. I didn't realise how...
That's fine, don't worry. Do you know what? When I'm on my own, I always overrun because I get so absorbed in playing with the products.
Yeah,
so
it is, and it's...
Yeah, it's fine.
So I would carry on colouring this. So what I've then done is stamped the lower part of it again. I've just coloured it, and I haven't even gone for shading. I just thought it'd be nice to do simple flat colouring. And then I've just used my glitter, quickie glue pen, and lots of different coloured glitter, and that is going to sit flat on the top there. But what I thought would be really nice is we could start bringing in some of our little chaps. I do love this one. I think there's just something about him. I don't know what it is.
Karen Bailey has just simply put, so good.
Oh, thank you.
There's so many comments. I mean, hundreds of comments. You have to go back at some point, though, when you get a chance.
I will do, yes.
But Michelle has said thank you for the tips. Rena has said what fun these would be to play with. We've still got more and more people joining us all the time as well. I hope you're all in a Christmassy mood now. I know I am. I feel like I need to go and have a hot drink and some Christmas cake.
Do you? Yeah. Oh, I love Christmas cake.
Yes.
Don't like Christmas pud though.
Do you not?
No, I don't know why. I don't like Christmas pud. Love Christmas cake though.
It's very similar though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know why. It's
just one of those things. Yeah,
so I'm just going to colour his hat simply. So the thing, if we coloured his hat, in a black or in a brown, and where he's got his glasses on, all of a sudden, he takes on a totally different vibe, doesn't he? So I'm just going to colour here his glass grey. Now, this guy as well, I think, is crying out for like your metallic pens, and make his glasses look all metallic, like the 80s.
Oh yeah, like the mirror ones almost.
I was trying to think of what they were called.
I can't tell you. I was a wee whippersnapper in the 80s.
I'd like to say I was a wee whippersnapper in the 80s, but I wasn't. All I can think of is like the Ray-Bans, the Top Gun from old Tom Cruise.
Yes.
From that certain film.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
You've already said it.
Top Gun, have I? Oh.
Yeah.
No, that was it. Aviator glasses.
Ah, there we go. Yes, well done.
Sadly, it's yeah, I remember them. You could get them in orange and browns and greens.
Wow.
Sorry, I am showing my age now. Sorry.
Crafty Unicorn has asked, I love that name, do you use the same card for the swatches as you would for what you're usually colouring on?
Yes. Now I will have. I could bring half my craft room for swatches. I am a bit of a swatchy person.
A swatchy person?
I love a swatch, but I will. If you've seen any of the shows I've done before where I've doodled, I will make my swatches into doodles as well. So it makes it a bit more. So rather than just doing lines and blending them out, it makes it a little bit more interesting. But I will do if I know there's certain cards I work on. So I know this is the Bockingford that I work on. I know this one is a mixed media card. So I will mainly do my swatches on the most of the card that I work on.
Yes. Okay.
So because if you're working on a white card to a cream card, you're going to get different coloured effect as well. And the Bockingford I work on is slightly cream. So I thought, you see, he could sit there like that. And if I get a bit of glue, so I'm trying to think. See, this is really messy for me, I must admit, but never mind.
It's the pressure of us all watching you.
I know
you're used to it.
Yeah. Anyway. But it's also, I love making mistakes. I know that sounds a really horrible thing to say, but because I think it's important people see that we do make mistakes and we learn, and our tips are just made from the mistakes that we've made.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's passing that on. So I thought he could sit there like that. Okay. So he's now sitting on the presents. So I've got 2 layers of presents again. Right. And then what I have done as well is I cut out the single stamp we've got. And I've got a smudge there, so I could easily, can you see I could put the smudge there, I've got a smudge there, so I can bring it down.
Cover that, yeah.
Cover that. And I've covered that and I've done a little bit of glitter. I haven't done much.
Christine Howard has said she's so pleased to be able to watch today because she normally works Friday. So welcome, Christine. Thanks for joining us on your day off.
So then I've got this little man here that I thought he could go on the top there. So it looks like the guy's popping out from behind him as well.
These are so cute.
And I thought we could layer that one.
Linda Daffy. I've got to read this out. I apologise.
No, go for it.
Linda Daffy. This is like top fan. I set my Alexa every Friday to tell me when it's CraftStash time. I love that. Thank you so much, Linda. We've got so many people who watch every week. I love seeing the same names pop up.
It's lovely, isn't it, when you see that?
Absolutely. And we've definitely got some fans of yours who have joined us
thank you.
As well.
So I've got that there, and now this is the single stamp, and I can easily put him there. So all I'm doing is I'm combining the presents together. So I'm I'm not going to do fussy colouring. Let's just do some quick colouring, because you don't have to. I mean, the images can be, you could spend loads, put lots of depth and colour in. Probably if I was at home, I would use water and probably blend these out. Okay. But for speed, it doesn't matter. No. I love the fact that these presents have got all the folded corners in. I tell you what, if Andy wraps his presents like he draws them, he can come round mine at Christmas and wrap all my presents up. I mean,
and then
talk about talk about perfect mitered corners. It's like,
lovely.
Yeah. Thank you.
The hospital thing corner just perfect.
It does, doesn't it? I mean, I brought my Sakura jelly roll pens in because if you have those, they're perfect for colouring these images, because especially if you've got the sparkle pens. Yes. Because you could add your little bit of glitter straight away to your images, and you don't have to worry about glue and glitter if that's not your thing. I have to be honest and say I'm not a glitter person normally. Are you not? No, you see, when teaching, the glitter we used to get for the children at school, I'm quite honest, you could exfoliate with. Lovely. It was that chunky. So that, I think that put me off, but I am starting to get back into glitter, but I do love the sparkle pens because then I can have that little bit of glitter, but not, worry about it. Now, I've got a smudge there, you see, so I can carry on building these up if I wanted to. Like I say, we could do this for hours. Oh, good. So I've got, it be lovely? Another little present there, and then I've got himself here. And
so one tip I was given a long time ago when it came to colouring was to not be afraid of leaving things white sometimes, which actually saves so much time. So for example, the ribbon that you've just coloured in green, you could have left that white.
Yes. Or alternatively, I could have stamped that on coloured card.
Yes.
And then I could have coloured the bits, but not coloured the ribbon in. That could have been the colour of the card.
Perfect.
If that makes sense as well.
Speedy tips for everyone if you do like to speed up your colouring process or need to.
And then we've got one here. Now I'm going to ignore that smudge there and pretend it didn't exist.
Yep, that's fine. We won't notice that.
And we'll just colour here.
Suzanne Taylor says, talking of the 80s, that looks like Roy Wood from Wizard sitting on top of the parcels.
It does, doesn't it? Sort of thing, yeah.
It really does. Only a few more minutes until we announce all the winners now. So those who have commented on Facebook, those who have commented on CraftWorld, those who commented on the Facebook post earlier in the week, those who entered the CraftWorld competition last Friday and onwards. We've got so many, and I have a card to show everybody as well from a winner of the Simply Made Crafts competition. That's coming up very soon. We have the photo ready for that too.
Wow.
But we're not rushing Lou because we just love her tips and all the techniques she's shown us already.
Well, I'm just, as I said, I'm a selfish colourer. I just colour as
you please.
Yeah, but I think that's important. If you enjoy your crafting, why scare yourself?
Exactly, definitely. Enjoy the process.
And if it's your way of escaping or your little bit of me time, make it your little bit of me time. Don't worry about me or anybody else sort of thing. Enjoy the process. So when you start worrying about what other people might think, that then it doesn't become enjoyable, becomes a chore.
Definitely. So many people are complimenting you on the way you've been very laid back about the smudges. And smudge what smudge? And they love the way you tackled it as such.
Oh, thank you.
Covered it over and just can't see it.
Right, just going to colour that there. I'll just put a little bit of grey. See, now, to me as well, if you got a clear sparkle pen, just putting a little bit of sparkles on their beards would look cool as well.
That would.
So let's put that in there. And I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to put him there.
Marie has said, if you draw in a pipe and the smudge becomes smoke from one of the gnomes.
Yeah, technically we've got to be politically correct, haven't we?
Yes, we have to be careful, but I'm sure there's something along those lines you could do, definitely.
Right, so I'm putting that there. So what I'm going to do quickly, just very, very, very quickly, is I'm just going to do a little bit of grey, not much, just to ground the images.
Okay.
And
look at that, shadows.
Just to give a reason for them to be there. So we can just ground them in. And I'm not going to make it any more complicated than that.
I love that. I mean, can we see the stamps that you originally used before you built up the image? Just so anyone who's just joining us can see what you
I used those stamps. And I think I've used all 5 of these little chaps, but I masked him off to hide the piece of wood he's sitting on.
Yes.
So all you see is that much of him. So you can mask them up. So I used those ones, and if I go, and I used all of those.
There we go.
So all the presents. But I've cut away because there's some actual really obvious places to cut away.
Yeah.
The image looks complicated, but you can actually see really obvious places to actually cut away and create those layers.
And I love the size of these stamps as well. You can really fill. I mean, what size is your card? Is that 8 by 8?
No, it's a 7 by 7.
It's 7 by 7.
I'm going to double check now before we say it.
Bit of a distance.
7 by 7.
Yeah, lovely.
Sort of
and that has filled a 7 by 7 card base.
But I could have squashed it down, but it's flat. So every bit of the gluing there and all the layers, I'm trying to show, is flat.
Perfect.
But when you look at it, it looks like you've got the depth there. But that will go through the post rather than as a large letter. It'd go through as a normal letter.
Absolutely. Before I push you to the side so I can come in and
That's fine.
Could we just have a look at all of your finished cards?
Yeah, let me just move.
Someone was just asking, I think that was Lorraine, but I'd love to see them. I don't think we've seen all of them with this close-up camera anyway. Right,
let's move those out of the way. So this was the Santa scene, and it was using the different houses. Now, to make it A5, you just cut it there and it's an A5 card. Because the crease would be along there.
That would be an amazing card.
And All that was the way I created the circle by the waste from a die cut. So rather than bin that, I've kept it to use as my stencil.
Fantastic.
And then just blend it out. But these are the house stamps that are also on the website.
So they're on CraftStash as well.
Yeah.
There we go.
And all I've done, like you said before, was just layer them up on top of each other. Because once you colour them, and because I'm not putting any detail in, you can't see if I've misstamped.
No.
Now this is something different with the presents. And what I've done is I've created a Zed Fold. So if I should show you from there.
Oh, yes.
So I've got the main pile of presents there, and then I've got a sentiment, and then on the inside there I've stamped it twice and overlaid it.
Lovely.
So now from this angle it looks like lots of presents, and then the third part it stamps there. So when it stands up, you create that. So if you really wanted to, that's something a little bit different.
That is fun. I love that. I'd love to see presents like that on Christmas morning.
I wouldn't want to wrap them though.
No.
And this is just a card just showing the reindeer. And these are the thrubbery that I was talking about. And I know they're on the website. Yes. And all I've done is I've stamped those, which aren't Christmas stamps. They're brilliant. I love them as scene builders. I've used them under the water, seaweed. They're fantastic. And I stamped them in white. And then all I've gone over, to be quite frank, is I've just taken a bit of green watercolour and splattered near, and then just the brown, and then I've just covered it with loads of Nouveau drops. So I think I've got on there Dream Drops, I've got the Antique, I've got the Crystal. I've literally gone to town and put loads on. Beautiful. And then just drawn some lines underneath the bottom, and that's quite a simple card. It is, but it's beautiful. But it's flat, if that makes sense.
Again, yeah, absolutely. So
I'm really getting into this. It's got to be flat.
Yeah, I think it helps nowadays with postage.
Oh, I think. And then this is the gnomes, and all I did was I stamped my sentiment, and I just covered it with a piece of post-it, and then stamped everything else around.
I love that. That is absolutely gorgeous. And this one's beautiful as well, because again, it's a big card.
And that's the fireplace, and all I've done is just did a bit of doodling, and then finally we didn't show the candles, and that's the candles.
Yes, so this is the fork candles.
But the candles, what I've done is here is I put my card, hopefully without your magnets sticking down, in place. I've stamped the image, and then I've actually worked on my platform, leaving the stamp in place. Using a quickie glue pen, I've let it go from blue to clear, and then I've added gilding flakes.
Oh, okay.
And then because the stamp is still on my stamp platform, I've re-inked it and stamped over the top. So any detail I've lost from the gilding has now been put back on top. Does that make sense?
Stunning, yes, absolutely.
And that is another
I love that.
flat card.
I'd love to see that demonstrated. Not that we have time today, but and we'll have to have you back.
Thank you
so much, Lou. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to push you to the side. No, I'll come and take over. Now, I've got some winners to announce. The first one, I need to show you an image. It's absolutely beautiful. This is what Benita made for our Simply Made Crafts Challenge. So let's just take a look at this. I don't think I can talk over this 10-second video, but take a look at this card. Benita, you are our winner from this week's challenge. So let's see. There we go. There we go. That card was absolutely stunning. You can come back to me now. So I'm just working around all of Lou's pens. No, that's fine. I just need to get my arm here so I can do things on here. So I've got more winners to announce very, very quickly. We'll get back to normal so we can both be together and say goodbye and announce the winners and do our drum rolls and things. But very quickly, so last week's CraftWorld Live, we had the lovely Jason Wilkes doing masculine makes. The winner from the CraftWorld competition following that live is Tracy Louise. So congratulations, Tracy Louise, on CraftWorld. You have won that collection of mail cards. That was the creative for the men. We have our Super Weekly Win competition. Now, we always announce this on a Friday. This is also Simply Made Crafts goodies. Now, this is worth over £150, okay? On Sunday, we will announce the next prize for the Super Weekly Win. This is on CraftWorld. Please make sure you are entering that competition. You just need to sign up to CraftWorld and it's completely free. So this week we are giving this huge prize away to Dolly's daughter. So if on CraftWorld your name is Dolly's daughter, congratulations, you've won that. So I've announced who won the Simply Made Cards Challenge. Congratulations, Benita, with that gorgeous flower card that we just saw. From the Facebook post earlier in the week, we have the winner of Charlotte Pateman on Facebook. Congratulations, you are winning a selection of these Picture This goodies. From this live, I hope you're still with us. We have 2 people from Facebook and 1 from CraftWorld. So we have Martha Debika. I hope I'm saying that right. Congratulations, you are our first winner from Facebook. If I don't pronounce your name right in a live and you regularly watch, please message me with how to pronounce it. I've had it with someone else and I would much rather get your name right for you. We also have Bernadette O'Reilly. Congratulations, you have also won today. You are winning a selection of these gorgeous Picture This stamps. This is what Lou has been using for this hour. We also have from over on CraftWorld, we have the handle Red Nat 88. If that's your handle, I'm sure you'll know who you are. Congratulations. We will get in contact and we will get that prize out to you. I think they're all the winners. Now, if you'd like one final chance of winning the whole collection, the new collection, pop on over to CraftWorld now. That's craftworld.com. Okay, you can be in with a chance of winning all of these, and I will announce those next week in the Friday live at 1 o'clock. Okay, please do join CraftWorld anyway. It's absolutely amazing for demonstrations and inspiration and offers, tutorials, masterclasses, galleries. I am in love with it. I'm over there all the time, as is Lou, as are lots of other people. We have our deal of the day. We have our code as well, PT10, on the new Picture This products. Thank you for joining us. I hope the weather didn't ruin it too much. Thank you so much to Lou for travelling this way to come and demonstrate. I know you've sent her lots of love and we hope to see her back soon too. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you again next week.